Hello friends and welcome to my channel. This is going to be a video about why I got sober, what sobriety has done for me, and kind of like my journey, Also introducing myself because I haven't even introduced myself really to us, and I'm new to this channel, or I'm new to YouTube, I'm new to creating. So I'm Yetzi. Nice to meet you guys. I am born and raised in Chicago. I am 32 years old. My birthday is in October. I am a Scorpio. Hey. That's kind of like a little bit about me. I am a DJ, or I've been a DJ for a long while now, and currently I am sober and exploring art in general because I've always been like an artsy kid, an artsy person, and so thank God to my sobriety because it has brought me back to that version of myself. And right now I'm kind of like exploring. So basically, yeah, I started drinking at a very young age. And I started drinking and smoking weed. I'm like, can you say that? I was like, weed. But I started drinking and smoking and just doing all types of teenage stuff.
But did you know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff for my friends.
From there, it was always like seen as like a social thing and like going to parties and like having fun. And honestly, like habits really do just like stack up and keep going because I continued that throughout. I never really had like structure. I would say school was kind of like the only thing that kept me structured, and having a job. I got a job really young, so those things like kept me structured. But I, after high school, was just kind of like, now what? Like a lot of us, I guess. I went to college for a little bit, but then I dropped out. I was just not in the right mindset. College dropout, art school dropout, because I went to Columbia and got in so much debt just to drop out. Yay, learning though is a learning curve, I guess, right? So then, I just kept like the habit up, and I made a lot of friends in the party life, and I would just go out all the time. I knew I always wanted to be a DJ also, so I guess that's also like partially we can say why I wanted to go out and meet people and meet DJs, and I'm like, how do I get into this? How do I do this? And yeah, and just kind of kept building from there. I have a lot of anxiety, and I think I've always had a lot of anxiety, even like as a young teenager kid, and I never really knew how to cope with it. So drinking calmed a lot of that for me, and that's kind of like what normalized it in my head, because I was just like, wow, it's so much fun. I'm not awkward around these people. They don't think I'm weird, and like we have so much fun. And it just kept going, and I didn't realize that the habit of it for so many years was affecting my life. Like my skin was doing horrible. Oh my gosh, for so many years. I was having, let's just put it in a nicer way. I had an out of control, chaotic love life. Relations with people is just like out of control. I was hurting myself. I was hurting my friends. I would say really mean things. I wasn't who I am now. And like seeing that mindset back then, I think I would just be like, I was drunk. It was okay. And I'm very lucky that my friends like know the real me and everything, and they forgave a lot of things that I've done. But I just knew that wasn't like me. And this behavior continued for years. There was times where I would be like behaved and good and go to school again. I went to college again on and off, and there was times I had like two jobs and I was more focused on those things, or like my relationships with people, and or things like that that I was just like not too focused in the nightlife or drinking, and then it was like a roller coaster. It would be on and off. And so yeah, I think I mostly kept it on for the most part. And I will say it wasn't until my late 20s that I was just like, dude, 30's knocking on your door and it's around the corner. I still wasn't, basically, I just kept going. In fact, I think that thought like scared me so much that I was like, I don't know. Like, your brain does this thing where it's like, I don't really know what to do except for what I've been doing, and because the other things I'm familiar and I'm not comfortable with it or something. But yeah, I kept going. In fact, I would say in my late 20s is when it got like worse, because, or I don't know, it's kind of like the same, but I was going on benders for days. And I say worse because the symptoms, oh my gosh, the hangovers. I would get hangovers so bad that I would be like throwing up. Sometimes I went to the hospital. I would be sick for like 3 to 4 business days, and it was just so unhealthy, and my life was so chaotic. I think alcohol fills wounds, and I'm starting to learn that being sober. Because I don't know, I guess I just didn't value myself. And when you get sober, you start to feel that grief. You start to feel like, why didn't I value myself? Why did I think I was not lovable? Why did I think I wasn't worthy of these things? Or why did I even feel social anxiety, I knew I had to stop, but I just kept going. And my friends would be like, dude, if I got so sick like you, I wouldn't drink anymore. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And I said I would stop a few times, kept like on and off, like stopping and then going. And it wasn't until I got with my current boyfriend that, he showed me true love, and he was so kind and sweet to me. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like he was like the hero like you. We were drinking and we were doing all these things, but I was still with that behavior. And you can't build a new house with the old bricks, So essentially, like, it's like that moment when you realize, like, damn, it's me, huh? Like, I'm the toxic one. That's so crazy. That it started clicking for me, and I was like, okay, I keep drinking and I'm a menace to society. I'm a menace to this man. He doesn't deserve this. I deserve better. He deserves better. We deserve better. And it was a lot of like ups and downs and really bad, horrible things that I had to go through that got me to where I am, that I was like, okay, I literally can never drink again. It's not maybe I could do 2 drinks. Maybe I can keep it casual. Maybe I could keep it cute. No, I cannot keep it cute. There's nothing cute about the way I drink, for real. Like, whoever said that meme or whatever, for real. And yeah, I would say it was like last year, January, that I was just like, I'm hurting everybody and myself, everything. I cannot do this anymore. And so I stopped. But I stopped for like 90 days or so. And then his birthday came around. And we were like, obviously, because what do you do for birthdays? You drink. It's so normalized, right? So we drank and everything. And then I was so mean to him that night. And I was sick. Oh my God, the next day I was sick for like I was drinking like it was my birthday. And so I was sick for so many days. And I was like, Yitzi, are you going to continue this? Are you going to continue this? You're already 31. Like, are you going to keep doing this your whole life? This isn't good for you. And I just had to lock in. Truly, I just really had to lock in. And I was praying to God. I was begging God, like, please, God, carry me through this. Like, please, I cannot do this to myself anymore. Dude, I don't know. I just started getting like super disciplined about it, because I knew I deserved better. I knew I was not this person who I was when I would drink. And I started changing, and I started committing. Like, I got the app, the Sober app, and I think that helped a lot. Having accountability really helps. You put all the reasons in of like why you want to stay sober, and you pledge every morning. And I think that accountability like really worked for me. Because like seeing the reasons every day, seeing like, and then having to like commit, and then you say like, I'm not drinking today, and you stay faithful to your word, you know. And then it just kept growing and going, and your numbers are going up, and you're just so proud, like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this, I'm gonna keep going. And then we even like went to Mexico. I stayed sober. We went to a distillery thing, and I didn't drink. I just like did the tour, and we talked about things, and I stayed sober. A lot of this though, like the strength part of it, would I would say like came, like, I'm also in therapy. There's a lot of other factors too, but I would say like luckily I'm really self-aware as a person. Thank God. Thank God for my Taurus moon. But I'm really self-aware, and I was just like, I would check myself, you know, like I did my pledge. Then like you're going for so many days, like you essentially have to be like, okay, I have social anxiety. Why? Let's explore it, you know? And so you start to explore and ask yourself questions and get really honest with yourself and have hard conversations with yourself, sit through uncomfortable feelings and journal. And it was a lot, but I honestly had to do it because, like I said, what you don't change, you choose, and I didn't want to choose that anymore. It just wasn't for me. My brain is built different. The chemicals just don't react with me like that. It is a spirit and literally takes over me, and I rebuke in Jesus' name. Thank God. I really think God really had a big part of it in saving me. Then my friend Alex had posted about the book The Artist's Way, and I had it there in my room for a while, you know. Like I read some pages, like I opened the book and it said like, this book takes like 12 weeks. I said, hell no. 12 weeks? No. So I didn't do it. But then when I got sober, the book was like staring at me, and it was like, read me. And I was like, okay. So I read it, and I started committing to it and doing all the prompts and the morning pages and the artist dates. And that's how I discovered pottery. And honestly, that's like a whole nother video, because it was actually like really cool, and that's God in its true form. And yeah, so through the artist way, through my sobriety, I started exploring art, and honestly, it's been the happiest I've been in so long. And you know, that's why I'm here doing this channel. I'm exploring my DJing like skills. I still don't even like believe it, even though I've done like festivals and so this is part of the learning journey. Yesterday my phone died, and I didn't even realize it because I'm using the back of my camera. And yeah, so I lost all that footage. So I'll just finish this up in my future version, current version, and say what I was saying in the last part was just like, I still to this day don't even believe that I'm a DJ, even though I've done plenty of shows and like festivals and things like that. But even though that is true, I still feel like I'm still finding my style in that. And especially lately, because I would say within the last year, I kind of started rebuilding myself as a DJ as well. Exploring music again, falling in love with it, because I was just doing it for a check before, and that felt like survival mode, and it burned me out. and I was just doing it for money, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to love the craft and love it. So all to say, that's kind of like what this channel is gonna be about and be of. It's a lot of rediscovery, which I've said plenty of times. So I'm really excited to explore and challenge myself and grow and have almost like these video diary entries, which I think is really cool. I'm gonna start to see like YouTube as a big art project, and I'm excited for the journey. And if you are someone struggling with sobriety, especially as an artist, and if you don't believe you can be a sober artist, or if you're struggling in your 30s trying to reinvent yourself or rediscover yourself, I hope that we can build a community here. And I hope to give you that comfort and to know you're not alone. And yeah, I'm really excited for the community I'm gonna build, and excited to learn video editing and learn and grow and create and hold myself accountable to creating, because I was like, no, I'm not gonna finish a video today. And I had just came home from pottery, and I was like tired, and I was like, oh, I don't have to post it. But here I am in my like Sunday's best. No, not really, but I just got home and I changed already, and I don't even have makeup on, but I'm just gonna show up. I'm just gonna be consistent and show up just like I've been doing with sobriety. And I hope you all can join me and follow along, and I hope we have fun along the way. Thank you all so much, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.